From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we say a very good evening, everyone, and welcome back to basketball inside the gym at Leominster High School. The 2021-2022 basketball season tips off tonight here on Rivalry Family Media. Great to have you along with us as we get started with girls basketball action. Leominster High School plays host to the Wachusett Mountaineers, the perennial power of Central Massachusetts. The Blue Devils come in with a record of 0-1. The Mountaineers with a record of 1-0 here on this early season. Leominster opened up the week on Tuesday, December 14th with a 59-44 loss to a strong Hopedale team. Coach Rusty Frederick said of Hopedale, they clearly have a top quality star player, a number one Division I type athlete there at Hopedale. Certainly a brick wall that Leominster ran into in a 59-44 loss. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, that was Bree Frangillo. Bill Thomas points out to me. In the meantime, Wachusett opened up playing Worcester South, or the South High community team, a 54-41 victory on home floor. That earlier this week as well, leading to their 1-0 record. And Coach Jim Oxford very excited by the prospect of his team as he gets set with a lot of quality athletes to come. This is our first of 15 live streaming games you will enjoy here on RFM, facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Game available later on this evening on YouTube, tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry, or search up YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe to Rivalry Family Media. We welcome you to our courtside broadcast position. Todd Robbins, joined as always by Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, and great to have you with us for another season of high school basketball here on RFM, celebrating our fourth high school basketball season here on RFM, and most importantly, great to be surrounded by many a fan who have returned here inside the gym at Leominster High School as well. For those of you that can't be here with us, we're proud to bring these to you here throughout the season as well, and we've got a dandy tonight in Leominster and Wachusett. I turn to Bill Thomas, and Billy, here we go. Leominster out of the frying pan with Hopedale and right on into the fire. You get what is perennially the best basketball team on the girls' side, this Wachusett team under Coach Jim Oxford.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he just has a basketball factory when it comes to the players and the quality of players he's able to produce. And year in and year out, we see it. And he's got a standout this year once again. And Mary Gibbons had 27 points. She's just a great all-around player. Hits from outside, makes her free throws. By all indications, a very exciting player to watch. And I'm sure we're going to be entertained by her tonight. And Rusty and the girls from Leominster are going to have their work cut out for them tonight, trying to figure out how to corral her.
And Coach Oxford, of course, is going to be leaning on Gibbons a little bit more. He says he's got a very deep team, but he's got a couple of players hurt as well. And Kate, Leominster knows all about that when it comes to injuries. Coach Rusty Frederick down 3 players, and really it's his returning starters from last year. Leominster returned all 5 starters from last campaign, which was, of course, that modified January to March campaign earlier this calendar year. All 5 starters returned, should have this senior leadership, or at the very least, junior and senior leadership. And right now, no Ava McDonald, the lone senior on the team, out with a knee injury, came down funny in that game against Hopedale. She's not able to return. Kylie Cudahy, who was a leading ball handler for Leominster and a distributor of the basketball, she's not available, also out with a knee injury. And then you had Shannon Smith, who's a sophomore that was going to add some depth. She's out. So Leominster on a 13-person roster is down to 10 already, and that's not because players got called up. That's because players are down and out.
And that's a difficult way to start your season. I mean, when you think about a coaching situation, especially at the high school level, the collegiate level and the professional ranks are starting to feel a little bit of this because of COVID protocol, but you going into a season, Coach Frederick has been thinking about this returning starting 5 since his season ended in March. He's had months to think about, okay, we've got veterans coming back. We're going to be able to start and just continue to build. And then all of a sudden, not even a game into the season, and all of a sudden the dominoes are starting to fall a little bit. The hope is that because it's so early in the season, that some of these injuries, hopefully not catastrophic, can be overcome by the time you get into mid-season and then late-season form. The difficulty is then as student athletes you're having to play catch-up, and that's a very difficult situation to be in, especially if you're nursing any type of major injury. And of course, going up against the gauntlet that has been the beginning of Leominster's regular season certainly doesn't help either. So they have their work cut out for them, but it sounds like from our early conversations with Coach Frederick, everything kind of in perspective. They understand what the beginning of their season looks like, and hopefully, in their minds, if they are able to at least stay in these games at the beginning of the year, that's only going to bode well for them as they get into the middle and end of their season. We saw it last year, the dichotomy between Fitchburg's season and Leominster's season on the girls' side. Be very interesting to see if that plays out again this year.
And of course, you name-checked the all-important piece of this puzzle that's kind of looming in the background, and that is, of course, the COVID pandemic,
Certainly.
which continues and is ongoing. Right now,
Just ask
nobody...
the NHL and NFL.
I was going to say, who are going through some rough patches in and of
right.
themselves. The only COVID protocol that you have to remain and see, you'll see right here on camera with Billy, Kate, and I, and that is masks are required indoors. The MIAA took a rule change under consideration for this season because, of course, during the outdoor events of the fall, masks were not required. Indoor fall sports, volleyball namely, masks were still required, and that is a requirement that was put in place by the DESE, that's the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. They determined that all indoor events, that includes all school events, all school-related events, will continue to have masks, and that's on into the new year, pending, of course, a new date. Will COVID affect this season? Tom Flanagan, Worcester Telegram, who we always love to look at on social media, he made the point, value every single game this season that you get the opportunity to play, because you don't know what tomorrow brings.
I want to make just one additional caveat as well, and you're going to see it. Billy and I had already seen it earlier in the day. The enforcement of the mask policy, when we're in school, it's always over the nose and under the chin. Sometimes that gets enforced more liberally or more conservatively by the officials, and so it is what it is. The rule is that masks need to be worn. You're going to see some very interesting things out there with regard to enforcement, so that's on the officials to make sure that they're enforcing those mask rules.
They have to wear them. How they have to wear them, whether it's the old chin strap or over the head or
Get ready.
behind the head or otherwise, trust me, I walk the halls every day at a school. I see that very same
Over
thing.
the nose, under the chin.
That is the end goal. Let's put COVID aside for a second. It looms in the background, as we said. And Bill Thomas, we were talking a little bit about Leominster there. And what Coach Rusty Frederick was preaching in my early conversations with him is youth and depth. Patience, patience, patience. He knows he's got a lot of great talent. That talent just needs varsity minutes.
Oh, he does. And I think even in the loss the other day, balanced scoring. Everybody that seems to got into game got on the score sheet. You know, not afraid to take some shots, led by Juliana Pompey with 12, but right behind her, Abby Goodwin with 9. And I think those are the two players based on what, you know, we saw in the first game, because Ava McDonald went down early in that game, never got on the score sheet. So we'll have to see if those two girls, you know, can take it to that next level, having a couple of days to plan around not having those three starters now, and see how they balance out the rest of the scoring. And you hate to use this cliche, but Rusty would probably be the first one to tell you, Coach Rusty, next girl up.
And that is the way they will play. Mary Gibbons will be the player that Coach Frederick looks to neutralize tonight with his team. Will he be able to successfully do that? That is the question that will play out on the court tonight. On the return to basketball, on the night we return to RFM for this 2021-2022 high school season. Great to have you with us here once again tonight. And as Coach Frederick noted for Leominster, Hopedale, followed by Wachusett, followed in the coming days, because, you know, that's not good enough, by Neshoba next week on the road. And that's the top 3 basketball teams in this broader central Massachusetts region in girls basketball. So certainly through the gauntlet they go in these first 3 games, and dare you say things might get a little easier as the weeks come ahead. And that is, of course, the name of the game. Can they survive? We'll have it all here for you. We're looking forward to it. Tip-off comes your way next. It's Wachusett and Leominster. Girls basketball here on RFM. Warm-ups continue. We step aside. We're back with introductions and the tip-off, starting lineups and more as basketball returns here on RFM. This is RFM.
Number 2, Mary Gibbons. Number 21, Kate King. Number 22, Charlotte Head. And number 30, Jill Pito. The Mountaineers are led by Coach Jim Oxford. Now for the starting line for the Leominster Blue Devils. Number 2, Jada Caldwell. Number 4, Isabella Nevar. Number 23, Kira Forsberg. Number 30, Francesca Bello. And number 44, Juliana Pompey. The Blue Devils are led by head coach Rusty Frederick. If we could all rise and remove our caps for the playing of the national anthem.
And with that, we're ready for basketball here inside the gym at Leominster High School here on RFM, and great to have you along with us. Leominster and Wachusett, a dandy of a Midwatch League opener for both teams as we get off to a fast start here in the second game of the 2021-2022 season here on RFM. You saw the introduction of the starting five for both teams. That's what we will see take the floor. So for the Mountaineers, it's Emmy Allen, Mary Gibbons, Kate King, Charlotte Head, and Jill Petto will get the start tonight for the Mountaineers. Leominster will start Jada Caldwell, the freshman, getting a first start tonight, along with Frankie Bello. The forward will also get a start. Two freshmen in Coach Frederick's starting five. Then you've got Nevard, Forsberg, and Pompey returning from last season. Ball's up, tip underway, controlled by Leominster, and we're off and running here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster goes half court right, going left to right here in quarter number one, and there's an offensive foul down in the post. It's charged to Bello, her first, team first for Leominster. Clearly set that screen, Bill Thomas, a little fast, a little strong down on the edge.
Yeah, and I think the officials are going to be a little quick with the whistle here to start off and probably loosen it up as the game goes on.
This is King, drops it off. Through Head, now the drive, kick, Head gets it back on the shot, catches the underside of the rim, rebound down for Bellows, and she picked up the pivot foot. Two touches of the basketball, and quickly here, some frustration early on. Billy, we're going to see these freshman mistakes.
Yeah, Wachusett girl in the passing lane there, and just led to a split decision of not to pass the ball, but it became a turnover.
Three from the corner, doesn't go for the sophomore Head.
Quick peek down there in the corner. This refurbished gym looks fabulous, starting with that Blue Devil painted on the doors, the logo there, and the Blue Devils on that safety wall. But new baskets and stanchions, just in a shiny new blue paint and a nice looking floor.
Athletic Director Dave Palazzi considering moving in. That's how nice
I'm telling you,
this is like one of those, DIY, see it inside, love it or list it sort of things. He loves it.
Still got that new car smell.
That's the drive for Nevard. Shot is short, rebound down for Petto, and here we go in transition for the Mountaineers. No score, minute gone by here in quarter number 1. Up strong, Nevard bothered the shot from head in the lane, and everybody's 0 for Kate as we go up and down the floor.
Yeah, not a lot of stats taken so far.
The inside-out passing, Caldwell with the jab step. Now with the right-hand dribble, sets up for a long 2, catches the corner of the sport. Nevard, the rebound, strong take to the rim, can't finish, and the lids are on here in quarter number 1. 90 seconds gone by and no score. Swing this one out, pass picked by Caldwell in the lane, and right now it just feels here in the early season, both teams pressing here.
Yeah, and I think if anything, this has got to work to Leominster's advantage here, keep Wachusett off the scoreboard.
Longer you keep them from building up a lead, the longer you stay in the game. Pompey forgets to dribble the basketball, shifts the feet, that's a travel, and the ball will go back to the Mountaineers. 6:11 left here in quarter number 1 and no score. Leominster and Wachusett here on the second game for these two schools, opening night of high school basketball here on RFM for the season. This is King. Crossover, drive on Pompey, drops it for the corner. Petto, the take, banks it off the window and in, and just a shade, about 2 minutes and 2 seconds in to this first quarter. We've got our first 2 points. Mountaineers draw first at 2-0.
Nice job using the lane there. Nice little soft semi-hook.
This is Nevard. Back top of the key, Pompey. Coach Frederick wants the dish. Forsberg cuts the lane. Wide open, lay in good. We're at 2-all.
That's a good heads-up pass right there. Top of the key into the lane. Easy layup.
The left-hand drive for Allen. Switches hands, gets fouled on the strong take. She'll go to the line for 2.
Once again, using that lane, Blue Devils are going to have to step into that lane as soon as they see that outside dribbler start to make that break.
The junior Allen at the line, off the mark left.
Emmy Allen had 11 in the win against South the other night.
And Allen misses left again. She's coming across the body, but a great rebound and putback from Majerski, who just checked into the basketball game at the last stoppage. And then Leominster with the throwaway on the ensuing inbound, an unforced error, and the ball back to the Mountaineers. Leominster trails by 2. And that's the kind of stuff, Bill Thomas, at this point in the season. You've got to expect it because you're in the early going, but you can't afford it against a team like Wachusett.
Nope, it's all about possessions.
Mid-range jumper, good for Majerski. Back-to-back baskets for her. It's 6-2.
Immediately turn that turnover into 2 for Wachusett.
The drive down the lane. Nevard determined to go up strong. Draws the foul as Petto wasn't able to set her feet. And Nevard's got 2 coming from the line.
It's nice to see Isabella using the lane like that. You know, she's a big girl. We saw a lot of that from her last year as, she was kind of growing into her role. And I like seeing her staying aggressive.
And that one will go. Leominster halves that lead. 4:56 to play here in quarter 1. See our first check in here for Abby Goodwin from Leominster. Nevard front rim and makes it over the top. 2 of 2 on the trip. Free throw line going to be important. Long distance find as Petto was on the baseline. Kicks it back out for Allen. Misses the 3 on the back rim, but the rebound and reset. This is King. Crossover, drive, fake the dish, got wiped out on the play. She's got 2 coming from the line.
Tell you, Wachusett girls aren't afraid to take it into the paint almost every time down the court, not settling for that outside shot, but looking for that drive.
Physical basketball has been the name of the game in this first 4 minutes or so of this one.
Paying off with free throws, too.
And the first one goes for Kate King, the junior forward at the line. Second one comes down strong. They double up Leominster once again. It's 8-4, and here comes that full court pressure the Mountaineers have been employing right from the tip. Caldwell, the freshman, takes a screen from Nevart, keeps driving all the way over to the right wing. This is Forsberg. Looks to go post. It got knocked down and taken away by Majerski. Finds an outlet for Allen. Allen with the bounce, looking on a lead pass for Baker. It got deflected away by Nevart out of bounds.
Nice idea right there, but Nevart doing a good job of being in that passing lane.
Coach Frederick in his 4th season here as the bench boss for Leominster and trying to, of course, continue to build this program, and he continues to do it through youth programs. The youth program, Central Mass Basketball, doing a great job continuing to build and send athletes up as that long two will fall, and it's a 10-4 lead for the Mountaineers. Great job by King through the contact. Spin in the lane, Nevart short on the shot, rebound for Majerski. Drive down the lane, foul down there in the corner. 2 more shots coming up for the Mountaineers as King draws the harm.
Good look down court right there, dribbling with a heads up. I think that was Gibbons leading the, was that Gibbons leading the break right there? Always got her head up looking for that down court pass.
And the first one will go for King, and thus far, Bill Thomas, it feels a little like a shootout of free throw competition here thus far.
You know, if you're aggressive, and that's what the Wachusett girls have been up to this point, and you know you're going to get those fouls, but you got to make your free throws.
That one does not go. Saved and kept alive by Leominster. That was Kelly. The ensuing 3 is buried for the Mountaineers.
Turns that into a 4-point possession.
Indeed it does, as we go under the 4-minute mark here in quarter 1, and it's 14-4. Drive and kick. Caught in the corner. And Coach Rusty Frederick sees his offense trapped in the right corner of the floor. He'll take a timeout with 10 seconds on the shot clock. 3:25 to play here in quarter 1. A 14-4 Mountaineer advantage here in the early going.
Nice job by the Mountaineers there playing defense. Coach Rusty recognizing that, kind of getting the girls out of trouble right there, avoiding the turnover. And let's talk about that. But Wachusett just doing a good job on both ends of the court right now.
And they have, of course, Bill Thomas, been the perennial team to, of course, look at in this region. We've talked about it year in and year out. This is a little younger group, perhaps, than Coach Oxford has started over the last couple of years. You got a couple of juniors in there. You got a sophomore to join a pair of seniors, and it's the sophomore Gibbons that everybody's looking at to see her development here in her 2nd year.
Yeah, and what she's done now as a sophomore, I mean, he's can only be salivating over there what she's going to bring to the table the next 2 years. But you got to have that supporting cast surrounding that really that star player. Otherwise, other teams will figure out how to shut down that player, and then you know, you'll be left with nothing. So, you know, Coach Oxford does a good job of mixing and matching. He seems to have that star player year in and year out, but finds a way to find a good supporting cast so that it doesn't all rely on that star player, and the star player is allowed to flourish.
Kelly will trigger from the low block. Ball's bounced, deflected back up toward the top of the key. Kelly will take it around. Feed Caldwell. 1 on the shot clock, and the possession will expire. There was 10 on the shot clock at the start of the possession, and obviously, Bill Thomas, there you are again, another young team on the floor, and that's youth and inexperience, but patience, patience, patience. That's what Coach Frederick said you absolutely positively have got to have when you have this kind of a young team, as it also appears got a little bit of leftover perspiration over there on the floor.
Something got spilled.
Yes, maybe a spill. They are in search of some towels.
Towels, yeah.
In front of the Leominster bench, either at the last timeout or beforehand, but nice job by everybody to pick up on that during this stoppage in play. And we see the paper towels coming out. We'll keep an eye on that as we welcome you back to our...
Anybody slipping and getting hurt over there, kind of right where the the ball's coming into play. So
Courtside broadcast position. Great to have you along with us once again and throughout the season. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the live coverage here on RFM, and then followed up on demand on YouTube. You can watch it any old time you want. Game will be available on the same day delay. Available out there on YouTube. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. Great to have you with us each and every broadcast. Got a lot of great games coming up here. Got two even before we hit the holiday break here for school. We're right back with you on Tuesday night as it's the boys who will take center stage here on RFM. We're looking forward to that one as they battle Neshoba. That game right here inside the gym at Leominster High School with that typical 7 o'clock tip-off. And then, of course, we'll be with you at 6:45 for Leominster and Neshoba. Out of the timeout of sorts as they're able to get the floor cleaned up. And we're back to action. 3 left here in quarter number 1, and it's a 14-4 game. The drive, hook shot doesn't go. Run down by Kelly in the corner. Kelly, though, caught in a double team on the wrong end line, gets the pass out of the hands and into the hands of Pompey, who gets tied up, and the alternate possession favors the Mountaineers.
Good defense off of that missed shot, though, and Mountaineers quick to trap over there in the corner, and that's just good coaching to alert your girls to take advantage of that kind of situation.
Float up top, Gibbons with the touch. Gibbons with the left-hand dribble, goes round the world, down the left side, takes the left-hand shot, got a lot of iron, comes down on a rebound for Majerski, who skids the pivot foot. She's called for the walk, and the ball will go back to Leominster.
Trying to turn her way out of traffic right there. Blue Devils all around her. Took that extra step. Once again, Mountaineers pressing.
Kelly needs to find somebody, and she has to force it up the middle of the floor, finds Pompey, who looks up floor for Sabina Marwa, getting a first touch, been on the floor a little bit, but now finds her way to the basketball. Head fake from Kelly, works the right-hand dribble to the top of the key. This is Pompey. Pompey looks foul line. It got deflected. King tried to run it down, and Leominster will keep the basketball with 11 to shoot. 2:20 to play here in quarter 1 and 14-4. The Mountaineer lead is 10. Marwa will inbound right there from that L in Blue Devils on the baseline. And she will find Pompey, stuck in the corner here with 10 to shoot. Out she finds. That was Boulay. Now 2. Marwa has to force one up. It got deflected on the way, and that's a shot clock violation, second in as many possessions for Leominster.
Girls just got to be a little more aggressive at the basket and not be stuck out on the perimeter. That's what happened, but let's credit Wachusett's defense right there.
And they are smothering Bill Thomas,
Yeah,
end
they
to
are.
end, and Coach Oxford
Doubling.
not leaving them a lot of room to breathe.
Doubling at every chance.
King takes the Euro step skid. The shot is off the mark, and the rebound down for Boulay, the sophomore. Boulay saw significant action as a freshman in spots for Leominster. Now works the give and go with
Nice.
Pompey. It got deflected to Kelly. Inside Marwa. Battle for the basketball as it gets knocked loose by Petto. From the seat of her pants, she'll feed Allen. Up floor, finds King into the post. Turnaround, shot will go.
Great awareness right there, making that extra pass.
Charlotte Head had the finish, and then a diving effort for Allen. Knocks the ball away, and she lands in a heap. 1:26 to play here in quarter number 1. 16-4 is the Mountaineer lead, and it has been just as smothering, even though we went scoreless through the first 2:02 of this first quarter.
Good job creating that turnover right there, too. Wachusett got the ball back.
Float into the post, find Head. Head goes back, top of the key, Gibbons swings. It's a wide open Petto. Shot got the back rim, no help on the rebound. Putback is good, out of the hands of Head. Back-to-back baskets, another 4-point possession, Bill Thomas for the Mountaineers.
Yep, Head using her height right there for that putback. Nice offensive rebound conversion.
Second chance opportunities killing Leominster here in the early going. Kelly, the running drive from the foul line doesn't go. Got her own rebound, lost it out of bounds. And the ball will go back to the Mountaineers. 57 6/10 left here in quarter 1. The lead has swelled to 14. Headed we go. The drive, corner, shot for three, head will bury. 21 for the lead for the Mountaineers. Pompey bothered all the way to the basket. That one won't go, and Petto down with the rebound. Petto runs the floor. Inside King, swings, head, lay in good.
3 straight baskets by Head right there, one girl show.
Shot clock off, final 22 seconds here of quarter number 1. First touch for Mia Keenan. Keenan gives it up at the foul line for Pompey. Pompey bothered by Head, shot was thwarted, loose ball, final 10 seconds. Up floor, leaking down, able to get the ball into the hands of what looked like Everidge. Missed the shot, Leominster with Boulay going in the other direction. The runner, good if it goes, will not fall. A chaotic quarter number 1 in both directions. It's a 23-4 lead for the Mountaineers. Bill Thomas, we expected a quality team. That's the team we've seen thus far.
Yeah, and very well coached team, I think, and you see that on the court. They're running set plays. They're looking for that extra pass. They're looking for that cutter in the lane, getting to the free throw line. That doesn't happen by accident. You know, all aspects of the Wachusett Mountaineers girls game is on display, and it really leads right back to Coach Oxford.
Indeed it does, Bill Thomas, and he has been building this program for years, and that has been the program that we're seeing out there on the floor right now.
Yeah, and you see different girls stepping up. You know, it's not, he seems to find that elite player, but he finds a way to keep the elite player surrounded by a very strong cast, so it doesn't always fall to that elite player to have to be the person, the go-to person. But, you know, he has that elite player that can step up whenever he needs it. But it's really about the supporting cast, and it's really on display tonight. You know, I think Head, leading scorer possibly in that first quarter, but she really came on strong there the last 2 minutes. I think she checked every box on the stat sheet.
Indeed she did. 23-4, the Mountaineer lead through the first 8 minutes.
That was about what, it's 19-2 run maybe? I think it was 4-2 at one point, wasn't it? At some point
Indeed
like that?
It was.
I believe it was.
This is the freshman Keenan. Leominster with the basketball going left to right. This one knocked away by Nevard. Out of bounds, took right out of her hands, and she was maybe looking for a foul there, Bill Thomas, on the baseline, and that wasn't what we were looking at.
Not getting any of the calls right now. And
position was denied. Boulay scrambles back into the play and knocks that one out of the hands of Everidge.
Nice job getting back on defense. Wachusett running at every opportunity, getting down court and looking for that breaker.
Inbound for Head. Bello comes over the top, push from behind, knocks the shot away. Foul gets whistled, 2 shots coming up.
Nice job by Hannah, though, working the lane there. And I tell you, these Wachusett girls aren't afraid to take it in the paint and absorb that contact. Well over 50%, I believe, from the free throw line, too, up to this point. Lady Mountaineers got it firing on all cylinders right now.
And that lead has swollen once again. 25 for the Mountaineer lead. Pompey, the drive, and the block gets called on the baseline. Good body position there for Petto. She's not going to get the benefit of that call. But 2 shots coming from the line for Pompey.
Nice job absorbing that contact and getting the foul.
First 28 seconds here of quarter 2, and Pompey's first from the free throw line. She has to let out just an exasperated laugh there, Bill Thomas, as nothing's quite going right.
Like you say, there's a lid on the basket on the Leominster's end. Can't find a way to solve that.
And that one won't roll either, and the rebound uncontested for Everidge. Everidge to the foul line, looks for Head, and maybe just a little too strong. Split her hands out of play.
Tried to catch the Blue Devils defense napping, but a little too high on that pass.
Pompey finds Forsberg up the middle of the floor, and the Mountaineers continue, even with a 25-4 lead, to pressure the full expanse of the floor, picking up that full court man at the inbound. Keenan's shot bothered all the way in the lane. It's a straight takeaway for the Mountaineers. That was Best feeding up floor, and a double dribble called in transition on Everidge.
Picked the ball up there and kind of hesitated on the middle of that dribble and decided she wanted to go for the lane. Once again, Mountaineers pressing.
And Boulay has the ball taken away. Leominster will keep the basketball at mid-court. Just about a minute gone by here in quarter number 2. A 25-4 lead for the Mountaineers. Keenan finds Boulay. Swinging around for Nivard. Now Forsberg. Forsberg, little head fake from Boulay on the drive. Goes right back to Forsberg as that entry is denied. Now Pompey, back top of the key. Swinging around, find Keenan. Keenan jumper at the foul line is taken away by Head.
Block, another stat. Head's doing it all right now.
Shot catches the back rim, loose ball, Keenan. Keenan gives it up to an open Forsberg, allows the blow-by of Best, and Forsberg finishes at the line.
Nice awareness right there. Let that defender blow by, as you say, Todd.
This is Petto. Petto with the dribble. Kick, Everidge, 3, and hits! Everything coming up forest green and white right now for the Mountaineers.
And when they're not driving the lane, they're burying a 3.
They had been reticent to take those threes in the first quarter, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, and they didn't have to. Lane was open. Blue Devils collapsed now, and they hit the outside shot.
Point well taken as there's contact in the lane as Nivard gets hung up on the drive from Petto. Just under 6 minutes to play here in quarter 2, and Coach Frederick keeps continuing to move those substitutions frequently. And of course, at this point, when you're trying to find chemistry in a composition that's going to be able to both defend the floor and score on the offensive end, you just keep changing till you find that right combination.
Yeah, when you got a young team, you got to give them all experience, get them all playing time.
Goodwin bumped up against Petto. Transition for the Mountaineers. Best shot won't go. Loose ball grabbed by Majerski, and there's a foul. Looked like Kelly coming in on as the second defender gets called for the foul.
Nothing but net once again on that foul shot.
And that one won't go for Majerski, so 1 of 2 on the trip. Down floor, Kelly for Caldwell. Caldwell with a couple of jab steps. Now kicks back for Bello. Comes to Forsberg. Forsberg goes right back to Bello, caught her foot, and the loose ball into the hands of Majerski in transition. Up floor, wide open was Best. She took a long 2, had some room to drive, maybe gave up the dribble a little too soon.
Yeah, had plenty of lane right there, didn't take advantage of it.
Forsberg with a close guard for Majerski, who swats it down. Now Majerski leaks out down floor. This one, Gibbons, 3 in the corner. That one won't go. She gets bump off the play, but gets her own rebound, drives, throws up a wild shot, and that one will go 31-6. And right now, Bill Thomas, even when the Mountaineers are off balance, they find a way to score the basketball. And meanwhile, you have a Leominster team that right now just looks like they are scrambling in all phases of the game.
Yeah, they're just being outplayed right now, and by a more experienced team. And you know, but it's still it's the growing pains for Leominster they have to go through.
Forsberg gets an open look and strokes it.
You know, Rusty knew early in the season he's playing 2 of the top teams in Central Mass, and but it wasn't something he was shying away from. He was looking forward to it.
In the lane, turnaround off glass does not go. Foul on the rebounding action called against the Mountaineers, and the ball will go back to Leominster. And Bill Thomas, got a note here too. Leominster, of course, played in that Pod 6 during the COVID-modified season earlier this calendar year. A very different composition of teams than they would typically play. Right. You didn't have your Shrewsburys, your Wachusetts, your Algonquins, what have you. You had Gardner, you had Quabbin, you had schools, Narragansett, that were just different type of teams. Now, Leominster, you could argue, competed very well against those schools. Perhaps we open up the conversation again about how they are classified by the MIAA and the Midwatch League, but at the end of the day, this is the competition they have. You're going to have to raise your game and have enough time in order to develop that game.
Yeah, but, you know, and you could look at your competition and wonder how it matches up, but when you got 3 out of your 5 starters and half of your veteran lineup on the bench, that doesn't bode well.
Shot missed by Majerski, then she commits the foul on the rebounding action as Bello was able to ward her off. 3:31 to play here in the second quarter on a 31-9 Mountaineer lead on this second game for both teams in 2021, the start of the 21-22 basketball season.
You know, at this level, Todd and Kay, I'm sure you know this, you can only absorb injuries so much. You like to think next player up, but the talent pool isn't that deep at this level, and
Forsberg, another 3.
Nice job right there.
6 points for Forsberg in 2 possessions. Gibbons fires up a 3 and rattles everything in down.
Hit everything but the scoreboard.
Indeed she did, and Bill Thomas, she likes the new baskets for sure. And I was finding myself thinking on the last possession, Gibbons had been fairly quiet despite this massive Mountaineer lead. 3 doesn't go, loose basketball tip to the floor we go. Marwa gets tied up on the play. Nice hustle play by both sides. Allen in there for the Mountaineers. And the alternate possession favors Wachusett once again. 2:38 to play here in the second quarter as we head toward halftime here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Bounce into the lane, Gibbons, offensive foul, and the ball will go back to Leominster. Strong take, but you can't bowl through the defender in the process.
Nope. Got to work around him.
Caldwell finds Marwa. Inside feed for Goodwin, doesn't go. Deflected basketball, then a push coming back into the play. Up floor, it's Gibbons who gets out in front of the pack and lays it in and good.
Nice job right there. I think that was 33. Majeski just slowed up, created a little pick right there, created a clear line to the basket.
Bello worked around her defender to get the ball in the corner. Now trapped, halfway through the shot clock, 15 to shoot. Marwa's jumper goes. And here comes Leominster's offensive production. Up floor, it's Gibbons. Fires up a 3, does not go. Battle for the rebound. To the floor they go. Rolling out, it's Goodwin. And Coach Rusty Frederick gets the timeout to get Goodwin out of a tough situation under her own basket. 94 seconds until halftime, a 36-14 lead for the Mountaineers, but a flurry of offense for Leominster.
Yeah, starting to come alive, and you know, you would expect that. Up and down the court, the fate's going to change a little bit, and it's nice to see a couple of these bounces going Leominster's way. Finally found a way to get the lid off the basket. A couple of 3s will do that for you.
It's amazing how just a little bit of scoring, Bill Thomas, can start to, of course, build confidence.
It becomes infectious sometimes, you know, then, you know, confidence level builds throughout the team. You start seeing, you know, some points on the board, and you never know what could happen.
Good things happen to those who wait, I suppose. We could hit all of the cliches tonight, Bill Thomas, but they are important. And of course,
don't give up and don't stop shooting.
That's
Keep
right.
playing. You never know. Good things will come.
And with every waning minute, these players develop more and more and more. And you can see there are some of the players out on the floor that certainly have that varsity experience. They certainly look a lot calmer. They're maintaining, of course, their skill level. They're maintaining their discipline, you could say, out on the floor. floor. And meanwhile, for those that are getting kind of thrown in a little bit of trial by fire, Bill Thomas, they look a little scattered, they look a little pressured, they look a little rattled. You can choose any description you like, but they look like players who are first-time varsity contributors.
Experience, I think, is really the way. It's just a lack of experience at this level against this competition.
This is Marois. Drives, feeds back. It ends up in the hands of Forsberg, top of the key. Dropped it off for Pompey. Little inside handoff, Caldwell. Caldwell tried to go, got tied up, 3 to shoot. Marois throws it up in the lane, misses everything. Shot clock violation is whistled, stopping the clock with exactly 1 minute left here in the second quarter.
You know, and just to expand a little bit on the inexperience, Todd, you think you've lost 3 of your starters, so now players 6, 7, and 8, who would be your first and second players off the bench, and now put in the starting lineup. Now you don't have that substitution pattern. It just kind of perpetuates itself.
Ball lost out of bounds as Bello was able to get in the passing lane and deflect the flow of that play down into the low post. Ends up out of bounds, and the ball will go back to Leominster. About a 20-second differential shot clock to game clock on this possession. It's Forsberg with the drive, poked away, loose ball battle. Tipped immediately by Forsberg to Coach Frederick. Ball will stay with the Mountaineers. 14 to shoot on the possession.
Good job right there, Mountaineers. Right away looking to break off of that steal.
Nice roll by Allen to the lane, and Pompey called for the contact.
Once again, working the paint.
31 1/10 left here in the second quarter. 36-14 the Mountaineer lead. That one won't go for Allen. And free throws have been a bit of maybe the weakness here. To point to something on the Mountaineer end of the floor, Bill Thomas, there have been some open-ended possessions where they haven't been able to add.
Yeah, in that first quarter, they seemed like they were hitting everything, but they have cooled off a little bit at the line. Still, I would guess above 50%, which isn't bad at this level.
Forsberg throws it away from Marois. Tried to make the save on the over and back call, not able to do it, and the ball will go back to Wachusett. Shot clock off, 17 3/10 before halftime. Coach Oxford wants him to hold for one more. Crossover, float, stutter and drive for Allen. Now Majerski. 2 seconds into the paint, it's King, throws it up at the buzzer. It's short and it will not go. And if Coach Oxford was looking for something to build on, not the best choices in the waning possession before halftime. He's got some things to coach up. And of course, that's the thing that you got to talk about. 37-14 at the half, Wachusett on top of Leominster. And of course, people are going to say, why are you still pressuring the floor? Why are you still, doing this or that? It's the second game of the season.
It's easy to explain. It is.
Absolutely.
It's only the second game of the season of what you're hoping is about a 20-game season normally. But yeah, and even as this lead expands, if it does, you can't expect them to take their foot off the pedal. Because once again, you can swing back, it's only the second game of the season.
And when you look at the Mountaineers and the way they schedule, of course, teams that are on their schedule that are perennial playoff teams, Natick, Foxborough, Bishop Girton, Concord Carlisle, twice. These are the kinds of schools that I know Coach Jim Oxford is building into his schedule, and we know for a fact, Bill Thomas, you need in order to, of course, make a competitive run and have a competitive set of math in the postseason. And this Mountaineer team is a Division I team for postseason purposes, where Leominster is a Division II team.
Yeah, and and you make a great point there. They're not afraid to think outside the box, expand their experience, get a look at other regions, really, not just play in your Central Mass
Mid-Watch
area,
League,
whatever you want to call it. The same teams year in and year out, whether it's your Shrewsbury or your Algonquins. Not to downplay that, but you like to see a different look once in a while, and different style of play that you get from different divisions, and Eastern Mass, and venture to the other side of 128 once in a while, and just expand your wings. But it only helps you come playoff time, because that's when you start playing those teams for real. Not that the regular season isn't for real, but you know, if you have that expanded experience come playoff time, it usually leads to greater success. And that's what we see year in and year out from the Wachusett Mountaineer girls team with Coach Oxford.
Same playoff format is in effect here for the basketball season that we discussed all fall, and the football and other sports that we saw. Teams are split statewide and ranked statewide across a division of approximately 35 to 38 teams in each division. Top 32 teams will qualify for the playoffs, Bill Thomas. So a very different math than you saw
Top 32
with football.
out of
Top 32 out of, I believe it's about 38-ish, 40-ish
We'll have to
teams.
see how that works out, but the whole incentive was to have more teams involved in playoffs statewide to start at least first round and create that
And I'm going to correct
excitement.
those numbers on myself, Bill Thomas, because of course I was thinking football, 8 divisions. There are only 4 divisions statewide for all other sports.
Okay.
So you're doubling up the size
So
of each division.
more in the 50 to 60
Somewhere in
teams.
that neighborhood,
So
yeah.
about half of the division is kind of what we saw in football, 16 of 30 to 32.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, it keeps everybody's head in the game, at least until the last week of the season, is what you like to see.
And of course, out of that group, they are also taking either and ties or teams with better than 500
And above
records that go
500s.
below number 32.
Right.
So you would have the possibility of play-in games. Eventually, the tournament will be the top 32 teams, but you may have some of those play-ins you see in the NCAA tournament, depending on how far ties
And
go
I'm
on
sure
down.
teams that fall into that category, they're not going to complain.
No.
They got to play a play.
It's a playoff night.
It's one more game we got to win.
That's right. One more game in the trip, so to speak. And of course, the big thing that we'll keep an eye on, the argument against what we saw during the football season, was of course not having enough games, enough math in order for this whole system to work. They say when you look at it across a 20-game season, the math works and the best teams will qualify for the playoffs.
But does anybody know how to add the math together to explain it? It seemed to be a bone of contention during the football season on, how can a team that's 3-5 have more points than a team that's 6-2 or whatever. But you look at that strength of schedule, and we talked about it with some of the football coaches. You can't just play your traditional rivals that you're used to seeing year in and year out. I think we're already seeing that from Wachusett, and you're going to see it from a lot of other schools, I think, in the seasons to come.
Halftime from the renovated gym at Leominster High School. It's Wachusett 37 and Leominster 14. A break, and we're back with more. This is RFM. Second half action underway here inside the gym at Leominster High School. First basketball game of the 21-22 campaign here on RFM. First of 15 live streams here on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Great to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. And right out of the chute, out of the locker room, here come the Mountaineers. Bombs away, and they cross the 40 mark. It's 40-14. Leominster will go from right to left here in the second half of action. Home white tops, white bottoms, all trimmed in royal blue. Got the running devil on the L on either side as well of those shorts. Nevard drives that one, deflected out of play. Ball will stay with Leominster. 7:11 to play here in quarter three. And of course, Bill Thomas, at this point, the only goal Leominster can have is to win the next interval of time, which at this point is trying to win the third quarter.
Well, let's even break it down more, Todd. Win the next possession.
It's a great point.
You know, this is really a possession-to-possession game. When you're looking at it from a Blue Devil standpoint, try to get a little bit better on each possession. Be a little smarter, a little more under control, and see if you can have a little more success at the end of that possession. Let's go possession by possession.
If you can do those things, good things happen for teams that are patient.
Of course, you like to break down the quarter and have that big win too, but we'll see how that plays out.
And away we go. It's Nevard. Corner for Caldwell. Back for Nevard. Spins in the lane. Back top of the key. Corner. Caldwell gets it back. Halfway through this possession, it's Pompey with the basketball. Finds Forsberg. Ends up in the hands of Pompey, who throws up the three and nowhere to go. Seeing some great passing and distribution of the basketball, but Bill Thomas, it doesn't feel like it's productive passing of the basketball. His head will drive the lane and lay it in and good.
Yeah, and I just think they're not looking inside, and unlike Wachusett that's immediately looking to get inside with a bounce pass or to find that cutter, Leominster kind of gets stuck in that perimeter passing, and people are kind of standing around.
Caldwell throws up a three, misses everything out of play, and the ball will go back to Wachusett. Just about 2 minutes gone by here in quarter three. Mountaineers with the commanding 42-14 lead.
You know, I'd like to see some of the Leominster girls just flash the lane a little bit, give Wachusett a little different look defensively, get them moving their feet defensively, and maybe they can get something to open up in the middle.
I'll give them something to defend. I would agree with you, Bill Thomas. Inside deflected, and the ball will go back to Leominster.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing is down here, Leominster passes the perimeter, and Wachusett just extends their defense, makes that perimeter passing even more difficult, but if you're not flashing the lane, no way to break it.
Drive and kick, back top of the key, loose basketball. Bello is in there for the battle, held ball, alternate possession, goes the way of Wachusett.
Leominster girls still battling though.
And that's the one thing that Coach Frederick said to me, you know, throughout, is that there is no quit in his team. They are going to keep going and going and going and going. They will play through whatever difficulty they're trying to work through. And right now, there's a lot of learning going on. As Nevard drives the lane, maybe started her approach a little early, ends up running over Petto, no call in either direction. Ball ends up out of bounds, back in. Leominster's going to get the basketball on the baseline. 5:13 to play here in the third. Pompey jacks up a long two, doesn't go. Rebound for Bello over two Mountaineers. One bounce for space and the finish at the rim. Meanwhile, right back down floor, Gibbons open, coming from the right block, lay in good.
Running that break off the made basket, getting down court in a hurry.
You blink, Bill Thomas, and they've gone by our broadcast position here at midcourt.
I can't get the camera turned quick enough.
Battle for the ball loose, scrambling. This is Caldwell in a battle with Petto. Comes loose again. Out of play goes the ball. It sounded like White.
A little slow on the held ball over there, letting the girls scramble all over the place.
Nobody quite had possession, Bill Thomas, in order to call it a tie-up. Leominster Kemp possession, 13 to shoot. Bello Backing down King, bodies up, creates space, and gets it to go.
Nice job right there, using her strength, getting inside that 8 to 10 foot line.
There's the drive down the lane. Allen draws the foul. She's got 2 shots coming up. I like the strength of Bello there, Bill Thomas. I just don't like her having to work all the way from foul line extended. I'd rather see her mid-block down and give her a shorter place to have to work from.
It's going to take that good interior pass, though, and it's going to take a lot of ball movement to get her that ball in that little better position. And that's something I'm sure that the Lady Blue Devils will work on as the season progresses. And, you know, a little more emphasis on interior offense. Not that you're going to be successful, but let's work it in there and make the Mountaineers look inside and look behind them and look on the baseline.
0 of 2 on that trip go the Mountaineers. Down floor, Gibbons says, excuse me, I'll take that. And right back down floor come the Mountaineers with the basketball. This is King. King with the give up. There was no Mountaineer there. She tried the no-look give for Head, and Head had gone right when the pass went left. Leominster with 3 in the area, pick and now in transition. Halfway through this third quarter. This is a Nevard 3, well short. Forsberg the rebound. Interior pass for Bello, never quite got her hand on the basketball. And around we go. Into the corner. This is Nevard. Leominster's possession continues. 7 to shoot. Contact from Gibbons on Nevard. Loose ball to Head, and the other way we go in the hands of the Mountaineers. Nevard will knock this one out of play.
Good hands up defense right there.
3:36 to play here in the third. 45-18 is the lead for the Mountaineers. Coming up post-game, Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick joins us at our courtside broadcast position. Look forward to talking to him, get a chance to, of course, break down this one and also look ahead to the season in front of him. Just the second of what will end up being pretty close to 20 games in total. We'll talk a little bit more about the schedule composition in a moment. Mountaineers possession continues into the corner. This is Allen. Launches the 3, got fouled on the 3-pointer.
Girls are laying all over the place here, but play continues.
Teammates over to help her up.
Are we shooting 3 foul shots here, possibly?
Yeah, there was a foul on the 3-point shot, so indeed. 3 shots coming up here for Allen.
Indicating 2 here. Nope, indicating 3. You notice the officials have gone back to the mouth whistles, Todd and Kate. I don't know if you picked up on that, but
I missed the finger whistles there, Bill Thomas.
I tell you, it just didn't have that right sound. And I noticed it in the earlier JV game. The officials were using the normal whistles.
So the mask over top of the traditional whistle, absolutely.
Makes sense to me.
No question about that. So the total 15 games on Leominster's schedule right now. This is the second of 15 on their schedule, but you have that Central Massachusetts tournament, which is coming in to the conversation as well. That is going to go on somewhere in the middle of February. There are some schools, the Leominster boys schedule has some of this, that actually has games scheduled after that tournament, but before you get to what will be the MIAA postseason. So there's a lot of new things that are going on in this return to what we'll call new normal. Well, that's just it. Fatten up the schedule a little bit. Have that tournament still, so you still have that district-esque round or what is akin to a conference tournament at the college level.
Little local bragging rights.
Exactly. While still playing in this new statewide playoff format that I will remind you that an overwhelming majority of athletic directors in Central, Western, and Eastern Mass all voted for. Loose ball to the floor, held on the alternate possession, belongs to Leominster. And Everidge will check in. She was actually waiting at the table. She was a shooter sub for Allen, who missed the free throws on the last attempt.
Didn't get a chance to get in.
And a timeout taken on the floor by Leominster. 2:35 to play here in the third. And Coach Frederick will spend the timeout, trailing 46-18. And said Bill Thomas, try to keep winning those intervals.
Yes,
I don't know if they're winning this interval, but they certainly look competitive in this interval.
I'm doing some math, 9-4 in this third quarter. That's definitely an improvement. I think the defense has gotten a little tougher. That interior defense, not letting Wachusett Mountaineers flash the lane like they were in that first half.
We mentioned, of course, next broadcast coming up for us on Tuesday. It's Neshoba here at Leominster, gym at Leominster High School on Tuesday, December the 21st, a 7 o'clock tip-off, as we see the boys team who are in action tonight at Wachusett. Hopefully we'll get a score coming up post-game on that one as well. big win against the Pioneers for Leominster earlier this week on the boys' side of things. It's, of course, St. John's of Shrewsbury, a big win for Leominster to open up the season. They certainly were not favored in that matchup. They were trailing through most of the game, but big free throws by McCormick down the stretch, Bill Thomas, and Leominster upset St. John's in the early going. That will bode well for them in what will be a quality St. John's basketball team this year.
Good confidence build early in the season.
After breaking for the holiday, we're back with holiday basketball on the boys' side. Leominster playing in the Framingham Holiday Vacation Tournament as the shot clock violation goes off, but action continues as the Mountaineers possess the ball, and up floor Gibbons with the take, draws the foul.
Yeah, we got a pretty wide-ranging schedule this year when it comes to broadcasting, and looking forward to it.
We'll see the
different
girls
venues
into the new year as we'll get St. Paul's coming in here to the gym at Leominster High School on Friday, January 7th. Next time we're back here with the girls squad coming up in the new year as well. And of course, Bill Thomas, we got the Algonquin-Neshoba doubleheader at the TD Garden to look forward to down the road as well.
Absolutely.
Always some fun and excitement. We'll have the Central Mass Basketball Tournament, a run of playoffs, and our partners at the K-Zone will be back with us as well doing their winter game of the week. We'll have the play-by-play on the basketball end of things, and we're looking forward to that. First game on the radio side of things joins us on Friday, January 7th in the new year as well. Lots of fun to come. 15 scheduled right now, and of course, I'll never resist adding a couple of more as the season progresses as well. 3 goes long of the mark, and the rebound, and here we go in transition. Drive the lane, that was Kelly, unable to finish at the rim. Loose ball ends up out of bounds, and it becomes a Mountaineer basketball. 1:47 to play here in the third, and it is a 30-point Mountaineer lead. Baker up floor finds Gibbons. Gibbons bounces for Baker, who flashes on the low block.
Nice job from the weak side right there. Got the Blue Devils chasing the ball. Found the open player.
Final 90 seconds here of the third. Pompey with the 3. Wide open, and she hits.
Blue Devils doing a little pressing on their own.
Well, this will be another game, Bill Thomas, where Leominster is going to find themselves wishing they hadn't spotted the Mountaineers 20 points in the first quarter. Gibbons, long second step, got the shot off, missed entirely. Final minute here of the third. This is Kelly, can't finish at the rim, and there's a foul called subsequent to the shot. And it's charged against Leominster on the rebounding action. Foul's fairly lopsided here in the third quarter.
You must have been reading my mind, Todd. I'm looking at that 5-0 fouls for.
Keenan makes the pick in transition. Fires up the jumper, got the front rim. Marwa kept it alive. And here we go back up floor. Final 45 seconds here of the third. This is Gibbons, launches a 3 and hits.
You know she was going to find the range eventually.
My, oh my, oh my. How talented is she?
Very
Into the
smooth.
corner. Pompey says, I can do that too. Catches the front rim and doesn't go. Final 25 seconds here of the third. Shot clock is off. Petto with a little bunny hop. They call it a long 2.
Contagious.
And the Mountaineers have reached the minimum speed limit. 10 seconds left here in the third. Goodwin sets a screen for Keenan. Bounce it at the feet of Pompey. Runner in the final 2 seconds. Does not go. 3 quarters in the books. Here from the gym at Leominster High School, Mountaineer advantage is 55-21. Coming up post-game, Leominster High School head coach Rusty Frederick joins us here at our courtside broadcast position here at RFM. And remember, you can see all of our games here at RFM and our all-time archive, all available online on YouTube. Search us up, youtube.com, search Rivalry Family Media, or you check out that tiny URL on screen. It's tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry, and you will head to our page. Most recent stuff is up front. Go on back historically, all the games we've ever done, going all the way back to 2018 here on RFM, available for you anytime you want, as it says there on screen. Like, follow, subscribe today, or this is Kate's favorite part, Bill Thomas, where I sound like the kids and go smash that like button.
Yeah, I was poking around on our YouTube webpage the other day, and we got about 50 videos on there, and a nice little array, and it's nice to look back at some of those. And,
that was last year alone, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, I tell you, I didn't, I started doing the math, we really got involved in the fall sports without the parents, and it was just coming fast and furious. And when I got to look back, I was like, wow, we were pretty busy, but it didn't feel like it was busy when we were doing it. But, we got to step back and take a breath. It was very rewarding. But, we were very much more busy than I realized.
Very, very much indeed. It was one of the things we missed, of course, about this past fall. Busy fall season on the football side of things, with everybody returning to their conventional schedules and seasons. Things a little more complicated.
Yeah, we were dancing around the soccer and lacrosse schedule, I think, at this time last year.
Indeed. Good news is the spring will continue here. Action here on RFM. We've got basketball for you now coming up this spring. Girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, and baseball return all right here on RFM.
Find a little field hockey maybe, and who knows, a golf match or two? Oh, we did.
Coming next year, Bill Thomas?
Maybe.
They've already played. The drive, and it's Marwa. Throws up the runner, doesn't go. The putback jumper, a miss as well, and we're off and running. Leominster goes 0 for on the possession here to open the fourth quarter. Down low, this is Petto. Comes up and under and catches a little glass and good.
The one thing the Mountaineers always looking at, flashing that baseline. That's a veteran presence right there that looks for that.
Keenan flips up a 3. That one won't go. Rebound down for Best. Best finds Petto. Tough angle, got it on the rim. It spun off. Majerski the rebound and reloads Allen, who buries it. And the Mountaineers continue to climb that speed limit. They've reached 60-21. Fire away, and Pompey responds. I've seen no quit. That was the thing Coach Frederick said there, Bill Thomas. They are going to keep coming, firing away. Majerski dribbles to the foul line. Drops it off for Best. Best with the right-hand dribble. A flash. Underhand from Petto to Majerski to Best. Caught the underside of the rim, loose ball. Out of bounds, and the ball will stay off of a deflection from Pompey with the Mountaineers. Petto will pull the trigger on the box stack. Finds Everidge. In the corner, Petto floats post. Deflected right back to Majerski. Out to Petto. Takes the 3. Rims out. Rebound Nivard. Taken away from behind by Majerski, who has the space to lay it in and good. Talk about asserting your dominance, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, and just unfortunate right there because Nivard did everything right.
Drive down the lane, draws the foul. And Pompey's got 2 shots coming from the line. Leominster on the road at Neshoba on the girls' side, coming up on that same Tuesday night, and we're here with the boys' action here on RFM. Meanwhile, for the Mountaineers, their next stop before the holiday break, they've got 2 next week. Fitchburg goes out to Holden for a battle with the Mountaineers, and then St. Paul will also head out there on Thursday, December the 23rd. Then they will break, and they are right back at it with Natick and Foxborough over a 2-day window. Both games at 11 a.m., one at home and one on the road. And that's what we were talking about. Coach Oxford wants to play the best teams to challenge his team in growth and development. And that, of course, is how you keep the dominance in this program.
Yeah, look to the east, and that's where the power is, and don't shy away from it.
Lane drive for Nivard, draws the foul. 2 coming up at the line. 5:52 to play here in quarter 4. Academic, low though it may seem, these are important minutes for a lot of players that are out on the floor. When you imagine you've got a freshman in Caldwell out there, you've got a sophomore in Kelly out there, all playing some of their first meaningful minutes, and now Frankie Bello returns to the lineup, playing meaningful minutes for this Leominster team, only going to aid their growth and development.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Every possession, Todd, as we talked about earlier in the game, you can learn something.
Kello's jumper from the wing doesn't go. Turnaround for Nevard. Aborts the shot in the double team. Finds Kelly, who gets fouled. Count that basket, +1.
Nice job right there, and that fired her up. You know, we talk about, you know, trying to win possessions and to try to get a little bit better in every possession, but you're only talking maybe if you can learn 1% better. You might not see it the next time down the court, but it's you build, and that's how you become better over time.
3-point play finished up there by Kelly. This is Allen. Allen down floor. Near side. Allen, left-hand dribble. Kick out for Everidge. Through the hands of Best. Finds Majerski. And Nevard plows into Majerski and picks up her 4th.
Team 6th.
So bonus for the Mountaineers the rest of the way.
She's not shooting here, is she? Is it a side out?
Yeah, foul's on the floor. Yeah, I was going to
That's
say players
solid.
went to the line, but
She's
that's
not getting
only
shots
the
out of
6th.
that. Not yet.
And Leominster will check Forsberg back in. Majerski into the hands of Baker. Got poked away.
You know, you look at the off-ball movement of the Wachusett Mountaineers, and that's really where they find all their success. Off-ball, flash in the lane, looking for that cutter, running that weave, which you don't see a lot of, but I see some of that in the Wachusett offense too. Old Celtics-style basketball right there.
Absolutely. Collision in the lane, and Boulay gets up, as does Everidge. Everybody appears to be okay. Final 5 minutes here of the 4th. This is a Baker jumper from the left wing. Won't go, and the rebound is Caldwell. This is Boulay. Spins foul line. Kick back, Caldwell. Over her head and settles the floor. Final 4:45 here of the 4th.
You know, quick look at the Leominster offense. You see all the girls out near the three-point line here. That's where they got to start cutting. And that's the difference, I think, between their offense and what we're seeing on the Wachusett end.
Poked away with 8 to shoot, and I agree with you, Bill Thomas.
But that comes with experience. You know, you got to have that confidence to have that success in the traffic.
The flash, there's
There you
Caldwell, middle of the lane. Turnaround shot may have been bothered by Allen.
But you don't stop working those plays right there. That's the play that leads to success. Yeah, it wasn't successful then, but you don't give up on that because that's going to lead you to success. And in more plays like that down the road once you become confident. We're going to 1-on-1 now.
Indeed, that is the 7th called against Leominster in this second half. 4:31 to play here in the 4th. And this is Everidge at the line. Hits the first. Everidge, very deliberate from the line, takes a deep breath and then hits. That's smooth, Bill Thomas. You want a repeatable motion at the line. And she pretty much was carbon copy on both shots.
Yeah, same result.
Forsberg dribbled for some space, back rim. It died on the support and fell in.
However you do that, try to do that every time.
Generous new rims, of course, all part of this renovation here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Got new baskets in all directions. Of course, used to have 3 courts here inside. You still do. You've got the 2 main, of course, baskets that you see in action tonight. And then there are 4 side baskets, but instead of them going the length vertically of the floor, they now go horizontally across the floor. So you have 2 half courts if you were to split. Instead of having, it used to be 3
boys
full
and, it
length
used to be
floors.
boys and girls. That's why they had the
exactly.
curtain.
It was
in the old days.
way back when. Yes.
Don't go beyond the curtain.
And it appears that was the 5th called on Isabella Nevard.
Isabel's out.
So she will wrap up the night. 3:53 to play here in the 4th. And Leominster down 1 more of their upper class leaders. If you weren't with us off the top of the broadcast, Kylie Cudahy, Ava McDonald, and Shannon Smith, a junior, a senior, and a sophomore respectively, all out with injuries. Cudahy and McDonald were part of the starting line last year for Leominster. Remember, Leominster returned all 5 of their starters from last year. Nevard, Forsberg, Pompey, Cudahy, and McDonald. 2 of them out, both with knee injuries here in the early part of the season. Their timeline for return, indefinite is the bad news Coach Rusty Frederick delivered to us. Pompey wins the battle in a double team. Now Boulay breaks out, bounce pass, finds Caldwell, hands it off to Bello. Bello fakes baseline, turns lane, swat away there once again. And of course, Bill Thomas, that's why they talk about you don't want to go to the middle of the lane. You want to fake middle and go baseline where the, of course, defenders are not.
You got to move. You got to move around.
Pompey fires up a 3, missed the mark, got some glass. 5 seconds to shoot here. Now 2. Caldwell, good if it goes. Got rim. The reset. Rebound down for Gibbons. Under 3 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Bounce pass, Pompey. The little kick. 24 to shoot.
You know, and you see right there that Wachusett was working a give and go. Leominster has a tendency to be standing around after they make that pass, and I think that's where they need to mature a little bit more. And moving without the ball.
Gibbons comes back, takes control, top of the key, waits for the clear out, drives the lane, draws the contact for Forsberg, who kind of just standing there minding her own business, but she wasn't square to the player coming down the lane. So the contact 99.9% of the time going to be called against the defense.
Minding her own business and got run over.
And if you're not face up on the defender coming in, or on the offensive player coming in, you're going to get the foul sent your way. Gibbons missed the first. And that'll be the thing. I mean, there's a couple of things Coach Oxford can talk about, of course, as he continues to work this team into its growth and development when they head toward the meat of their season for the Mountaineers. Free throws are going to continue to be a thing that he's going to keep wanting to work at and work at. Shooting a lot of those in practice, need them to finish and count. And then, of course, shot selection. There have been points where, of course, particularly going into halftime, that'll be something that Coach Oxford can build on. And, of course, if you're a coach with a dominant team, that's what you're looking for. When everything's coming up roses and it's 67-31, 2.5 to play in the final quarter, what are you working on? Those are the things, Bill Thomas.
There's always something to work on, like you say. Court awareness, clock awareness, like we saw at the end of the first half, and just better shot selection. And you'd always, you can never work on your free throws too much.
That I can agree with. This is Kelly. Tried to find Marwa. It was deflected. Leominster kept possession. Bounce along the baseline. Keenan fires up a long 2, and she finds it. 2:05 to play here in the 4th, 67-33. Leominster hanging around in the basketball game. Gibbons, drive, count the basket, +1.
Keeping her feet moving. A little back and forth dribble. Finds her way down the left side of the lane. If you happen to notice, she doesn't really favor one side or the other. She'll go whichever way she sees an opening.
And that is the 10th foul called against Leominster, so it's double bonus rest of the way for the Mountaineers.
That's the end one.
Indeed. So she'll finish a 3-point play. They'll have shots no matter what they do rest of the way.
Mountaineers only whistle for 3 fouls in the second half.
Keenan in the lane, gets that one to go.
Deadens that one up on the rim too.
Second time we've seen that tonight, Bill Thomas.
Something
Something about that support.
Might have to take a look at that one. Break out the vice grips.
Indeed. Majerski and Baker playing catch at the top of the key. This is Best for Baker. Now finds King. 10 on the shot clock. Final 80 seconds of this one. Everidge launches along 2, crashes for the rebound, but got the reset. Pompey takes it away from Majerski. Loose ball run down in the lane by Baker. And now things will reset. Mountaineers get a fresh 30 as we work our way to the final minute here of the 4th quarter. Everidge works the give and go at Majerski. Marwa stripped it from behind. This is Pompey for Boulay. Back to Pompey. Fires up a three. Back rim, no. Rebound down for Majerski. 35 seconds left here in this fourth frame. 70-35. Mountaineers on their way to their second victory in this young season. Drive the lane, shot off the mark for Baker, but she sticks with it and makes it 72. Marwa spins, drops it off, throws up the shot. It will not go. Down in the hands of King. She's going to dribble it out. Pressure here from Kelly. Kelly continues to bother her, not understanding she's trying to do the right thing and just dribble this one out in a sporting fashion. And the Mountaineers all smiles as they pick up their second win in the 21-22 campaign. A 72-35 victory over Leominster on the road tonight for Coach Oxford's bunch. What a team he has here. But again, Bill Thomas, in the early season, if you're one of those teams down the road, you're looking on, there's some things we could pick at here.
Oh, yeah, he's still got stuff to work on. He'd be the first to admit it, but just a great, well-balanced game. Both halves, 37 and 35 points for each half of Wachusett Mountaineers. And Coach Oxford, like you say, he's going to find something to work on, but he doesn't have a lot to complain about.
Indeed, he does not. 72-35 Mountaineers, a victor here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Next game here on RFM comes your way this Tuesday, December the 21st, 6:45. We'll be on the air streaming here on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry, 7 o'clock with the tip-off for Leominster and Neshoba boys basketball here on RFM. But we're not done here tonight inside the gym at Leominster High School. Post-game comes your way next. Leominster High School head coach Rusty Frederick joins us courtside here on RFM. More to come. This is RFM. As we continue post-game here on RFM, great to have you along with us. A 72-35 victory for Wachusett tonight, and joined now by Wachusett Mountaineers head coach Jim Oxford, kind enough to come over and join us here post-game. And Coach, second game of the season, certainly the dominating win you would want. It's a game you were supposed to win. You came in here and you took care of business tonight. That's a positive development, but there's certainly still things, second game of the season, for you to continue to build on with your team.
Oh, absolutely. We've got to finish better in the paint. I thought we missed a lot of shots in the paint that we need to work on. Defensively, I thought our effort was good. We did a lot of good things, but there were times we broke down and gave easy looks. So, yeah, real pleased. I mean, whenever we come into this building, it's the effort that we have to put forth to beat Leominster. It doesn't show up in the scoreboard, but it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort to play with these girls because they're competitive.
And that's one of those things, of course, people are looking at the game and looking at the scoreboard and they're going, well, why do you continue to keep your starting players out there? And of course, we talked about it on the broadcast. It's the second game of the season.
Yep.
Your players are still looking to develop.
Yep.
You still got some young leaders out there. Of course, we talked a lot about Gibbons in the broadcast, but she's only a sophomore. She's still developing her game as well. Can't develop a game and try to, of course, not play your best players as well. There's a balance there.
Yeah, we're trying to get better. So it's like we've got our sights as we go through to having a good state tournament run. Right now we've got 2 kids injured, so we're only down to 9 players anyway. So we're going to be playing at least 1 starter all the time because we only have 4 reserves.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's just trying to get them all minutes, get them all getting better. Yeah, that's what we keep doing.
And you've done what you have done year in and year out. You have gone far and wide to gather your schedule together to find the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And so you've decided to spend your holiday break with Natick and Foxborough, and you got Concord Carlisle twice on your schedule this year, as well as you continue through the run of this season. You are a Division I team, according to the MIAA, so you've got to play in that top division, which means you've got to look east in order to build your schedule and, of course, increase your position as you look forward into that postseason.
Yeah, and you didn't even add Bishop Girton.
Oh, that's correct. I skipped over Bishop
New
Girton
Hampshire
as well.
State champ.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, we need to play these teams. I mean, we want to have a good power rating. We want our players to play the best players around. So, regrettably, Central Mass basketball is not as strong as it is in other parts of the state, especially on the eastern side. So we play more towards the east, no doubt about it. And we've got a good schedule. We've added Concord Carlisle twice this year. They're pretty good. Natick is always good. So, hey, we just keep getting better, and we play good teams, and we'll be fine when the tournament comes.
And no question about that. And of course, because of the way this schedule is formatted, strength of schedule is such an important component, and just based on what you've seen through one season, Eastern Mass certainly gets the benefit of that strength of schedule.
No doubt.
Teams have no choice. How does that change, though? I mean, obviously, as a coach, you've always gone out and, grabbed a game or 2 here and there, but it feels like now, it's almost like building blocks with your schedule every year. You're going to have to do this year in and year out, much the same way maybe at the college level teams have always done this.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the past 10 or 12 years, I mean, we were playing Andover when they were the state champs. We played Braintree when they were the state champs. So we've always tried to go out and play good teams because we want to get our kids playing the best competition. But even now, you always have to question, what are you getting out of playing teams that maybe you've played in the past? If they're not helping you with your power rating, then you've got to move on and play different teams. I'm not so sure yet how all this is either going to hurt us or help us. There's so much about the system I'm not familiar with yet. I'm always suspicious when someone else can rate my team, but I can't confirm that rating because I don't know how all this works.
Sure.
So we've got a lot of stuff we've got to figure out. But I do know from everyone I've talked to that the more competitive schedule that we play, the better it's going to be for every team. Even if you're losing those games, it's better to play teams who are very, very good and lose to them than to play teams who have a lower power rating and beat them.
Now, the quality loss thing, that's the part I'll still try to understand. Football season was a bit of a mess with the quality losses.
Yep.
I'm hoping we don't have to talk near as much about them as we talk about a 20-game basketball season. Coach Oxford, best of luck to you as you continue on. We'll see you down the road, I'm certain, as well.
I'm sure.
More to come. This is RFM. Post-game continues courtside here on RFM, joined now by Leominster High School head coach Rusty Frederick. And Coach, great to have you with us as always. Great to see you back again in the gym. A tough 72-35 loss tonight. But you had said something to me in our text message exchange yesterday. There were 3 words. It was the same word 3 times. Patience, patience, patience. And that's what you're doing out here. You've got a young team. You returned all 5 of your starters last year on a deep bench, and you've got a couple of injuries now that are, of course, hurting that overall development, so you're short on senior leadership. So you've got to play a lot of young players out on the floor, and patience is the name of the game.
Yeah, got to have a lot of patience. Sometimes I'm not as patient, but it's a great group of girls, and we just talked up there, and I'm like, you know, we kind of, when we hit like Fitchburg last year,
sure,
right? So it was our first time we were playing a different level of basketball, and we got blown out by 35 probably. Don't really remember, but then the next time we played them closer, and then we got them in the playoffs. And this team will grow because I promise you they'll grow. I'm excited about them. I told them I'm not down. You know, I did not like how we came out and played. We played a little scared, shocked. And I kind of remember that from Fitchburg. That's why I bring that up. And
certainly,
you know, boom, all of a sudden we came out with a good Hopedale team. Now Wachusett, and now we're on to Neshoba. So we're playing some iron teams right now, and you know, Coach runs a great program at Wachusett, and we're headed in that direction. That's the goal here.
And you've said, of course, patience. And patience, some of that is just about getting minutes on the floor. And so these players who you're talking about, maybe, like you said, came out a little scared. For some of them, it's the first time they're playing a beast of a team like Wachusett, who has been this literally replay and reload type of program. For them, it's the first time on the floor, and it's a very different level of basketball than maybe you were playing, even if you were playing a Holden or a Rutland or a Princeton, who are all teams that would feed into this Mountaineer program at the youth level.
Right. I mean, that's where we want to get to, and I think we're heading in the right direction. I talked to Coach before the game, and you know, he has people returning that have been playing for a couple of years, and so it's a smoother transition.
Sure.
You know, we're going to be there. Like next year at this time, we'll be so much further ahead. You know, it's just about, there's a lot of correctable things out there today. You know, I don't think we ran our offense maybe once or twice in the first quarter because we just didn't want to fight through things and get into our offense. We started running around, probably in a little you know, but we're going to fix it. We're going to get there. And I think, you know, in a couple weeks, we're going to be a much better team.
You mentioned, of course, that feeling like maybe penetration was difficult. It seemed like at times your team was content to maybe hang around that outside, and there was a lot of room on the inside. They just didn't quite seem to find their way to fight to the inside.
Yeah, we'll correct it. Sunday will be a film day.
Sure.
Going to go over all the mistakes and, you know, and show them where we need to be. And, you know, as you see Wachusett when they penetrate, if the help comes on one dribble, they kick out, where we take maybe one dribble too many and we get into trouble. So, you know, I got to put them in better situations myself.
When you look at the number of freshmen, you've got 2 in your starting 5 right now because of injuries. And of course, you got a couple more freshmen that are contributing off the bench, a whole host of sophomores and a couple of juniors, one injured, and then a senior also injured. You've got a very young team, which of course says a lot about the travel programs that are making these contributions. Central Mass Youth Basketball has been around forever, and they are now contributing a lot of players into this program.
The coaches down there are doing a great job, and you know, we benefit from having good parents and good coaches down there. And you know, I got a great group of parents that do whatever I ask, and they're willing to help make us better. And look at our gym now. You know, Coach Palazzi's done a nice job, you know, heading this thing, and I'm excited. I mean, everyone's excited about this group of girls because, you know, they've been very good at the lower levels. And now when we get all together, they're excited to play with each other. I'm excited to coach them. I got good coaches. Good things are happening, and we just got to, you know, get through this stretch, and then let's see us step forward and get better.
And time will tell. I agree with you. The running devil's back. No more blue circles.
I love that thing over there.
Thank goodness it's finally back. Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick, thank you so much, as always, for coming by and seeing us courtside. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Have a great holiday. Take care, Coach. More to come. Post-game final next. This is RFM. Hey, let's turn those mics on. Post-game continues here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas with you here at our courtside broadcast position. Great to have Leominster High School head coach Rusty Frederick back with us and get the bonus of getting to talk to Jim Oxford, head coach of Wachusett as well. Been there a very long time. And, of course, he himself, a Leominster High School educator for a very long time as well. So he at home, away from home, so to speak. Great to get a chance to talk to both of them. It's a little bit of surprise. Bill Thomas works his magic again. Gets us another
well,
coach.
He's out there roaming around. We were talking about pre-game, so it's like, hey, come on over, let's wrap this up. He's absolutely
Absolutely.
great.
And always great to, to get a chance, especially early in the season.
Coaches and get a different perspective.
Well, that's just it, and get a chance to kind of hear where they are going and what they're thinking early on. And, well, what do you make of what you heard? You heard from both head coaches here and two head coaches that are in similar circumstances as they're both 2 games into the season. They're both negotiating injuries, so they're having to juggle their lineup. One, though, however, is just a machine that just keeps reloading and reloading and reloading, and the other one is in search of an identity.
The starting lines are at different spots right now in the season, and it's obvious Wachusett is at an advanced level right now, and they're playing mid-season form, in my opinion. The way they're moving on without the ball, very important, and I'm sure Rusty talked about they're going to look at some films. Maybe they should take a look at our film, too, because it's pretty obvious that, the Lady Blue Devils did a lot of standing around tonight, but I think that comes with inexperience, and it's just you need to have some confidence that, that moving without the ball has some value. And I think that they will learn that over time, and that's something that Rusty's going to work with. I'm sure he'll work with the baseline, get that more involved. We didn't see any baseline cuts, I don't think, from the Blue Devil girls tonight, but we saw a lot of them from the Wachusett girls. They were flashing in the lane and flashing the baseline and got a lot of easy baskets. And if anything else, the Wachusett girls might have taught the Blue Devil girls a little bit about that advanced level and something to build off of because they saw a great Wachusett girls team tonight.
Indeed, they did. And, of course, you mentioned the battle, if you will, on the inside and what happens when Leominster's offense becomes either stagnant or, Coach Frederick used the word running around a little bit. And I think that's
on
kind
the
of
perimeter,
what it felt like. Yeah, they were running around the perimeter.
Not running the lane where they need to go.
It's not productive is
right.
what they were really running into. And when they ran into that circumstance, then, you see the offense kind of start to fall off. You're not getting good shots. You're running out of time on the shot clock. And, 30 seconds is more than you have in the NBA. It's the same as men's and women's college. It is a very tight window with a 30-second shot clock. You've got to move the ball. You've got to find productivity, and Leominster struggled to do that at points. And once you lose that discipline of how your offense moves, things start to, kind of fall apart. Got to also make mention, of course, we're talking a little bit about, size. Leominster finally has some height on the interior, which is something that, Leominster has always struggled with, boys or girls, has always struggled to find that height on the interior. Got to be excited about a freshman in Frankie Bello, who's got the size on the interior.
She showed it tonight, too, some flashes.
Juliana Pompey there. Nevard continues to grow taller and
we
taller as the years go by.
Freshman enthusiasm last year and loved it, and she's growing into that role for sure.
And then, of course, you have Ava McDonald. Now, you imagine a back line that, if McDonald is able to get healthy and get back in the game, Bello is able to get in there, all of a sudden Leominster's got a lot of size on the interior, and that changes the type of basketball that you can play.
Yeah, and that's when you really start concentrating on flashing the lane, packing it for offensive rebounds. I'm not sure, Leominster didn't get too many offensive rebounds tonight because most of the girls were hanging around outside, around the perimeter line, around the three-point line, and that's where a lot of the passing was taking place. Wachusett comes down here. Their girl at the top of the key passes to the wing, and immediately she's down the lane, looking for something with her hand up. Every time it's back to the top of the key. If it's not there, then that person's flashing again. And like I mentioned during the broadcast, it's like watching the Celtics of the '80s, the weave. Everything's off the top of the key. It's a mixture of Harlem Globetrotters and Celtics basketball, but you're always looking for that running down the lane, losing your defender, and it looked like Leominster was playing a lot of man-to-man tonight, not a lot of laid-back zone. And it looked like the Lady Mountaineers taking advantage of that and using some picks and getting a lot of easy shots going to the basket.
Indeed, and they'd certainly like to see that develop as well. And, of course, this Mountaineer team now at 2-0, Leominster at 0-2 at this point in the early aspects of the season. And it's a Mountaineer team, Bill Thomas, that, we were talking to Coach Oxford both on air and off, that is going to continue to build. This is, the starting point. You go through South, you go through Leominster, you go through Fitchburg, you get that first test just with St. Paul, and then all of a sudden, here comes Natick. Here comes Foxborough, a trip on the road. You follow that up after Foxborough, and then they get themselves Shrewsbury, who's no pushover ever in sports, and then Bishop Girton, the New Hampshire State champs, which I didn't even make mention of in the process.
Coach Oxford, that was first and foremost. You forgot the best one of the bunch, the New Hampshire State champion, and he's right. But that's I think the difference where the programs are right now. And I was just starting to look over Leominster's schedule, basically a traditional schedule. You got, your Algonquin, your Millbury, your Tantascwa, your Fitchburg, your Shrewsbury, your Marlborough. Not much outside that 10-mile belt, the beltway that we're used to seeing. And I think that's the difference where the programs are right now. But this is a schedule that Coach Fredericks can build on. There's some success built into this schedule, where if he was playing the type of schedule that Wachusett is, it's be a lot of down days, I think, at this point in the program. So I think both schedules are built for where the programs are right now, and they're built for success. And I think that both teams in the long run are going to be successful.
And two different levels of basketball on display there. Again, it's going to be something we're going to keep mentioning until everyone gets used to it. But again, remember, Wachusett and Leominster, although they both compete in the Midwatch League and they're both seen as perennial Midwatch A teams, they are not grouped together in the postseason any longer. These are now from two completely different divisions. So Wachusett is considered statewide Division 1, Leominster considered statewide Division 2. And I think I could make a competitive argument where somebody like Fitchburg, that's statewide Division 3, you could make an argument, Bill Thomas, that maybe that's more appropriate to where Leominster belongs. They don't call us the Twin Cities because it's cute and the Chamber of Commerce appreciates it. There is a lot about these two communities that has always been the same and still to this day is the same.
Yeah, and you wonder how they get divided up like that, why they wouldn't just, keep them together for rivalry purposes.
Well, it's numbers.
A lot of it has to do
numbers.
with numbers, boys and totals and within the school system. And but we see different seasons. Sometimes the same school will be put in a different division depending on participation within that sport sometimes. But when it comes to basketball, that's kind of the easiest one to match up because it's the smallest teams and it's easier to be competitive even if you're a small school. We've seen it year in and year out at a school like St. Bernard's. Whether it's football or basketball, they find a way to be competitive. But it's you never know what you're going to get year in and year out. And, you try to find a way to stay competitive. I think we're seeing the two different programs are in two different spots right now, and it shows their schedule. And but you'd like to see, even in the long run, that even these types of schedules, you can still be successful. But I think it's just they're at a different level of what the success each team is trying to achieve right now. I think Rusty's got a great path laid out in front of them, but they got to find a way to win some of these games to build some confidence, and I think they will. Come midseason, I think we're going to see a much different team.
Life is that perennial box of chocolates in the world.
Never know what you're going to get.
Never know what you're going to get. 72-35, Wachusett a winner in this one tonight. Let's take a quick look ahead. Of course, boys team on the road have not been able to get a final score. Nothing out there on social media for a final tonight between Leominster and Wachusett on the boys' side. Both teams looking for their second win on the early season. But, Bill Thomas, we do know that we've got Leominster and Neshoba boys right here at the gym at Leominster High School coming up this coming Tuesday. We'll have the parameters for you coming up at the conclusion of our broadcast in a matter of moments. But here we go. We'll get our first look. A team that has upset St. John's this week, and now we'll see where does Coach Grutchfield and squad go with either two wins or maybe a win and a loss. See that, Bill Thomas? I saw that score you just scrolled by the way.
Right
yeah,
there,
Fitchburg with a win over Shrewsbury, 56-41 on the boys' side of things.
Look right here.
That's an interesting note about, of course, a team that's growing and trying to get better as well.
Rodriguez and Caputi leading Fitchburg with 10 and 13 respectively.
See them coming up in a matter as well. And, of course, we have that slated as a doubleheader, the twice-a-year doubleheaders where you have the boys and girls playing back-to-back on the same nights. That is still being worked out among the athletic administrators' desire to have those competed that way. But there is some concerns out there as far as numbers go and trying to get, of course, the capacity correct and, consistent with the, comfort of the Board of health. Tonight it was great to have a crowd back, all ye but small, but great to have a crowd back here inside the gym at Leominster High School, and hopefully as things progress through the months and years ahead, we'll get back to those crowds that we're used to seeing here inside the gym, and we'll see where that goes. But Billy, we'll get our first look at Leominster and Neshoba on the boys' side of things coming up on Tuesday, and of course, Leominster returns a number of players from last year. They have continued to grow and develop, and there will be some new guys making some contributions as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the Leominster boys have progressed, and we always know what Neshoba comes in, one of the big three in the neighborhood, along with Wachusett and Shrewsbury, nice St. John's. You always expect them to be tough, but the boys opened up with a win against them, so maybe that's forbearing as far as some success that we'll see the Leominster boys continue to have, build off of what they had last year.
Bring your jar for the over-under and how many times I don't say Wolves in that broadcast. It's Neshoba's Wolves having retired their chieftain in this one. Wolves and Blue Devils coming your way on Tuesday, but first let's put a wrap on this one here inside the gym at Leominster High School. You want to be a part of this one, all of our live action here on RFM, Facebook.com/Media Rivalry, where you found us tonight. You want the game on demand for replay, that tiny URL will take you there, or you go to YouTube.com, you search Rivalry Family Media, you like, you follow, you subscribe. When we go live, you get the broadcast. When we post on-demand content, you get the broadcast. All available on Facebook and YouTube here on RFM, including our historical archive available on demand as well. Any old time you like. You want schedule updates, you want upcoming programming, all that's on our Twitter account. Follow @Media Rivalry for that information. And we alluded to it, of course, moments ago, but coming your way, our next broadcast of basketball here on RFM comes your way on Tuesday, December the 21st, 7 o'clock tip-off here inside the gym at Leominster High School. We're on the air at 6:45 here on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for Leominster and Neshoba in boys basketball action right here on RFM. Coming up on Tuesday and then on into the holiday as well. Give you one more look here inside a now empty gym at Leominster High School. Give you a chance to look at that beautiful new floor, the Running Devil emblazoned back at the middle. You can see a couple of those new baskets. They're mirrored on the other side behind us here on the visiting sideline as well, along with the additional supports and, of course, tying that all together with the new lighting and everything coming together here inside the gym at Leominster High School as well. Great to have you along with us. Basketball season underway here on RFM. Keep it locked right here throughout the winter season. 72-35, Wachusett over Leominster. Mountaineers are 2-0. Blue Devils are 0-2 on the girls' side of the ledger. So much more to come. You stay with us throughout the season ahead. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us. And until Tuesday, so long, everybody.